Right, question 25 is a question on chromatography. So there are 5 dyes, 1, 2, X, Y, and Z. And of course, 2 chromatograms are developed. What's the difference? One, it uses water as a solvent, and the other, ethanol. And of course, the results are shown below. So question asks, which of the following statements are incorrect, right? Incorrect. Let's highlight that. Let's go through each statement one by one. Statement 1, there is a dye in food dye 1. That is insoluble in water but soluble in ethanol. Okay, how do we determine if this is true or not? Let's look at the chromatogram for solvent water. So food dye 1, we can see that there are 4 spots that are evolved. 4 spots. Okay, but at the start line, there is 1 spot over there. A spot appears on the start line. Okay, what does this tell you? This tells you that the spot here at 1 actually did not travel at all. Okay, let's look at the one for ethanol. Okay, ethanol also has 4 spots in blue, but they all move a distance away from the start line, meaning they are actually soluble in ethanol. Okay, so if there is no movement from the start line, this would tell you that it's actually insoluble. Insoluble in movement. Okay, so there is a dye in food dye 1 that is insoluble in water. Yes, it's insoluble in water, but soluble in ethanol. Yes, it's also soluble in ethanol, as we can see from the results of the RF value. Okay, so option 1 is correct. Let's look at statement 2. The dye in Z is more soluble in water than in ethanol. Okay, so how do we tell if something is more soluble or not? It's basically how far they travel. How far they travel in the chromatogram. Okay, so let's look at dye Z. So we can see that for the chromatogram for water compared to the chromatogram for ethanol, dye Z actually travels further in the ethanol chromatogram. Okay, so further would mean that it is more soluble. So the statement that says dye Z is more soluble in water is actually incorrect, as it travels further in ethanol, which means it is more soluble in ethanol instead of water. Okay, so in this case, statement 2 is wrong. Let's look at statement 3. Z contains a pure dye. Okay, so how do we determine if it's a pure dye? Basically, it will only have 1 spot. Right, 1 spot. And if we look at the chromatograms, we can see that in both water and ethanol, there are only 1 spot. There is only 1 spot. Okay, so that tells us that this is correct. And therefore, only 2 is incorrect and option B.